read. I can 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 read.
I grew up in a household where I had two parents. I had a household of great books, and we had no TVs in our house. My parents were a little bit crazy. For too many of our students, unfortunately, today, they have more TVs in the house than they have books, and they have more TVs than they have parents sometimes. And I think we have to get to children early. For them to have the chances that I had, that my brother had, that my sister had, something has to change. WITS can be that change agent. WITS can be the one to give students the opportunities they desperately need, they desperately deserve, but may not be getting in their house. That's why WITS is so critically important to us as a city and to us as a Chicago public school system.
And one of the things I've learned is that reading is the most important subject for students to learn. It's the foundation for everything else in education. And I've become such a great admirer of WITS because WITS helps students learn to read.
One thing I found out that when a parent or grandparent or adult is reading to a child at all ages, that has a real impact, especially reading to younger children. I mean, that to me, that is the key, and unfortunately, many children don't have the parents to do that.
Kiara chooses her own books, and I read the stories to her. She likes to also tell me about the pictures.
I like to read all day, and sometimes I read in my house where my mommy listens to me.
Big Green Monster has two big yellow eyes. Where are his yellow eyes? Okay. A long bluish greenish nose.
I can read.
I help her read.
You feel this sense of social responsibility. You're like, these kids need help, and now I'm helping them, and it's kind of like they're giving back to their community. What WITS means to me is that huge extra push and huge help to get the kids to read. It motivates them to read in the classroom, outside the classroom. It makes them excited about reading and knowing they can read.
WITS helps all our schools because they bring in the different companies to the different businesses to come to our schools. It's so good to have this marriage with businesses and education. It's a perfect marriage.
School moves outside where there's plenty of light. Today, high in the mountains where India touches Tibet, 29 kids are learning English in the bright, cold sunlight. Initially, I went into it thinking that I would just be helping the student, but WITS really helps me, too. I think you feel a sense of accomplishment as you see the kids progress, like Jennifer.
I read a lot that I can actually finish one big chapter book with around 21 chapters in one day. I can read because of you.
Can you eat everything with chopsticks?
No.
So if it's an armored prey, what do you think he is, Endo or Exo?
Exo.
Exo, good.
It's very important, for us to have our employees spend the time to help train up the next group of students that will probably come in and take our jobs one day at the Northern Trust.
I can read.
I help students read.
I can read.
We help them read.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
A teacher.
Oh, they didn't hear you.
A teacher.
This is the absolute foundation. This is the absolute building block. And when you do this well, you change students' lives forever. I help students read.
I help students read.
I help students read.
I can read. I can read.